an opportunity to tell my story. You know, I think a lot of people, they're like, oh, you have my perfect job. And sometimes I don't think people understand all the things I've done to get to my perfect job. And you know, this is a lifelong program that I've been working on. This isn't something I've been working on a couple years. This was 30 years in the making.
I got to learn a lot about Linda, about her business and how it got started, and I got to share my experience with a lot of amazing people that are starting up their own. Very exciting, and I got to share my own experience and get excited about my opening of my own business too.
This evening means a lot to me. It's bringing the community together of entrepreneurs, like-minded people to just connect and to share knowledge about what we have going on.
Linda, Callie, how does your story begin, and why did you decide to grow into a brick and mortar?
So my story started actually during quarantine. I had nothing better to do but start a craft, and I needed some kind of hobby to keep me going. So I started making jewelry because all girls love jewelry, of course, and I had too many of them, so I decided to post them on Facebook, and from Facebook I had a lot of interest. They sold really quick, so I decided to make a Facebook page, which led up to a business page, which then led me to doing pop-up events at smaller markets like Rochester's Farmers Market and the Obed and Isaac's Market. And then from there, I ended up starting that was in 2020. And then in 2021, I began doing the Old Capitol Farmers Market, which led me to grow substantially, and I was able to get a wide range of different customers from the downtown market. And that led me to really want a location in somewhere downtown. So whenever we found a location on Adams Street, which is literally where the farmers market is going on, I knew that's exactly where we wanted to move in. And I kind of held my ground, and I was like, that's where we're going, and I don't want to go anywhere else. And so there's a little bit of iffiness there for a little bit, not sure if we were going into that spot or not, but we held our ground and we're moving in. So the next couple months we'll be in hopefully July. That's our goal date, of course, but we shall see.
It's been so long since I get started, I don't even know. It's all about passion. I've always been a junker forever and ever and ever and ever. So I've been doing markets. I didn't call pop-ups. I've been doing markets throughout the Midwest for the last 30 years. I fill up my cargo van and off I go from up near Green Bay to down near Nashville. Springfield is not my market, I'll be very honest. And I knew that. That's why I didn't do a lot of my work here at first. And then when my job started to get really icky, I knew it was time to move on. So I had a friend who was starting a shop, and I was like, I want to be part of that. Of course, part of it though along the way was I went to the business owner and I said, I want that spot. They blew me off. Somebody else got that spot. I said, I want that spot. I got blown off. I didn't get it. This person who started it, she got the spot, and I went in with them. I only lasted 2.5 years there, but I had a plan, so I did a pop-up in downtown Springfield called the Vintage Pop-Up Holiday Shop, and it was a vintage shop for 1 month, and from that I knew I could do it downtown by myself. And that's kind of how I got downtown. I knew that I needed tourists, because tourists are what keep me alive, and I knew I needed a vintage building to really complete what I am. Without that, my business is just boring.
Well, that's fabulous, thank you. So for everybody who doesn't know what a pop-up is, can you guys individually define what pop-up means to you?
A pop-up to me is I literally stuff my car full of every single item I have made and my tent and everything. There's no room to fit any other individual in my car besides myself, sometimes. And then I bring it all back into my spot, which I'm located, and I unload it all. And I put my tent, we bring tables, and then I load all my products on it. My setup probably takes 15, 20 minutes compared to others. Linda's probably takes a lot longer.
To do well.
Yeah, so I am blessed to have a much shorter pop-up, and that's why I call it a pop-up, because I'm able to, if there's a market on the side of the street, I can pull over and be like, yep, it's my turn, I'll just pop up right here, but probably not as easy for Linda.
So yeah, pop-ups are a lot different for me because to me, a pop-up was going into a dirty location that's not made for a show. It's not a venue. I've done pop-ups in downtown Chicago where it was a building that this looked like 3 years ago with hanging fixtures, nothing. It wasn't supposed to be a store. It was a store that was nothing. We were in there for the weekend and we were out. And we were just a plain market. So that's the same thing when I did the vintage pop-up shop. It was a storefront that looked like crap. I just cleaned it, moved it in, and then we moved out after the month. So I call shows a show, and you know, because to me that's different. To me the pop-ups were more about the unexpected venues that where you can find something that it shouldn't be there that just popped up and you were gone. 10 years ago about, I was doing pop-ups at Incredibly Delicious, and everybody's like, what's a pop-up? I said, here today, gone tomorrow. You know, and they're like, today. You know, and even to me that's not a pop-up because I like them dirty. I tried to find, you know, space here in Springfield that was just a warehouse. Nobody got it. So I kept trying, but you know what? Time goes on. I know I could do it now if I did it because everybody understands it. So I just had to fight a lot to get what I wanted, and that's what I do.
Well, thank you for paving the path for that. Linda, could you share with us though real quick, how long have you been doing pop-ups and shows before you decided to move into your space?
I was doing shows for 30 years. My business, I'm gonna tell you what, if you watch Gary Vee or any of that, I started with $5, went to my first show, I made $300. $300 went back into the business, that became $1,000. $1,000 went back into the business, that became $10,000. I have zero debt on my business. I have zero debt. I don't even have a credit card on my business. I have taken my time and I've done it. People are always asking me, how do I do this? And I said, patience and time. I have a master's degree. I've worked at the collegiate level. I'm a former Division I athlete. I'm a former Division I coach. I know how to work. I know how to be told no, and I know how to keep moving. So I knew it was my time to do my passion full time, even though all my jobs I've ever had have been my passion.
Very good. So Callie, you've been in the game here for about a year, year and a half, 2 years now. So I've been seeing that you have been booked for many markets coming up. You've been showing all that on social media. So what are you most excited about for this upcoming season now that we have great weather, we have all these places that are hosting for markets?
Well, I like to keep myself busy. I thrive on being busy. So next week, I'm already starting at 3 markets next week. So I will be swamped, of course, and I have another job as well that I have a passion for. But I'm most excited for, honestly, getting to meet more people. I think what makes me so happy through my business has been all the customers I've met, and they became like actual friends. And like you, like I met you through my business, and like you became a friend, and I get to meet so many amazing like business owners, and like it's a completely different world that I never thought I would enter. And now I'm here, and I'm like, wow, I'm doing this, and I've made so many new friends, and people are inspired by me, which is something I never really thought would happen in my life, and so I'm honored by that, and I get a lot of questions, and I'm just excited to meet more people, more markets, travel more places and do more markets, and of course open up my shop so I can be like, hey, wow, at the market, go check out my new store. So, of course, that too.
People always ask me, what do you do on your day off? I sell more stuff. So last weekend I was at Litchfield. The weekend before I was in Dubuque, Iowa. So I just keep doing my thing. I mean, if I was going to be down in Nashville, but I decided to cancel my Nashville show just because I needed to stay downtown for an event. But yeah, any place that I can go that's going to get me more people. And it works. I mean, I was in Davenport, somebody goes, oh, we follow you on Instagram. Where are you from? California. You know, and people will say stuff, and I tell people, California kept my business alive during the pandemic. You know, I sent stuff to a movie set, I sent stuff to shops in California, and so that's how I keep in business, and Springfield's great for picking, not for selling. But that's okay.
So the connections and the networking while you guys are doing these shows and pop-ups are definitely a positive aspect of everything.
Without that, you're in trouble.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'll be honest, I feel like if I hadn't have done my years I've known Denise forever. I mean, it's about building the relationships so that when you do start, you can get going. Because I'll tell a little bad story. One of my friends just started a business. And they're like, oh, I'm so happy. I opened it up. Now I can relax. And I'm like, ooh. Because they said, oh, honey, no. You have to work harder now. Because the biggest thing to remember is your first month or two, all your friends come. You think you are hot. You think you are making $1 million. And then your friends have all the vintage clothing they need. They don't need any more couches. You have to find new friends every single day. Every year, I have to find an entire new set of clientele. Every year. Because you can only sell so much to people so long. You know, sometimes I'm like, why can't I be a food person? But that's okay, because in my personal trainer life, then I would have gotten me anyway. So, but you know, you have to think about that. And I think that sometimes we forget about how do we keep the dream going? How do we get to that next level? How do we keep going? Because it's hard.
When you're passionate about something that's not a typical 9 to 5, it's definitely 24 hours a day. So as you guys are planning markets and, storefront opportunities, let's talk about inventory.
We don't have any.
How do you keep up?
We don't. I don't. I make it right before the market starts, to be honest. I stay until 4 a.m. the night before the market and chug along. And I make it work. I'm always there on the market. I always got the latest inventory. But that's why I don't ever post what I have the night before, because I don't have it until the morning of the market, and then it all comes together. My poor assistant comes and helps me, and she's there till the morning with me. I'm like, I'm sorry, but this is the life. I try to get inventory, and then what happens is I'm in so many shops, they request for more stuff to be put in their shops, and I'm a one-man, one-woman that can only make so much, and I have an assistant I hired, but she can't help much, so we do what we can and try to keep up as much as we can, but we always say we're going to make more, but it never actually happens, so.
What does inventory look like for you, Linda?
I can sell for the next 30 years and not go buy anything. Inventory, well, it switches. I mean, this is the thing that's hard. And, I have lots of 50s dresses, but guess what? Not everybody wants 60s dresses, so I have to keep going out. Everybody wants me to have this size dress. This took me 20 years to find this size dress for me, and I'm out every day, So you just have to keep out and keep going. I think that people don't understand, business owners, how much time we are working off the clock. I mean, there's days when the shop opens at 11, which somebody's like, why don't you open early? I'm like, I have to pick some time. And I usually average 2 to 3 loads of laundry before I ever start the day. I have to then go pick up my dry cleaning bill. I have to yesterday go to pick up a pick. I was at a pick this morning finding more stuff. So you're always working. And I don't trust anybody else to work with me because, again, I tried it with somebody else and I've didn't do well, and I kind of realized that I need to do this by myself because I'm a control freak.
So Kelly, we see you at tons of different shows here in Springfield, and to kind of build off the marketing and the connecting, we've seen that you have collaborated with other storefronts. Can you share a little bit more about what made you want to do that next step?
Well, when I first started, I didn't even know it was a possibility to sell in other stores. I was completely oblivious to that at all. It was my first year at Obez and Isaacs when I had a boutique approach me and asked me if I wanted to sell in their store. And I was like, whoa, you can do this? So from there, I started selling in their store, and then I reached out to a couple others, which was Willow and Birch, Farmstead Primitive, and Cindy's Cottage, which is in Lincoln. And I started selling in all of their stores, and then it just kind of started moving from there. And I got in a bunch of other Central Illinois stores. I've been reached out by a couple other stores that are a little bit further away, and I have done some wholesaling with them, but I do a lot of consignment, which is where they take a percentage. But it's able to get my products out there for customers to easily get, but the only downfall of it is I make so many different products that they can't always get exactly what they want. So pros and cons to it.
Linda, do you collaborate with anybody as of now, and have you in the past before you decided to get your space on the street?
I like to collaborate. Collaborating is fun. Have we collaborated before, Denise? Nope. Right now, I'm collaborating with Mad Maps. They come in on the first Fridays with me. I've done pop-up events in my shop with other people. I think my favorite was She's Blooming Awesome. It was all female business owners. So I had a flower bar. Denise had lavender cookies. I had somebody who had oils, and I had Custom Cup had floral teas. I had Maddie from Just the Basics with floral infused vodka. So everything had to be female-owned, floral, and that's why it was called She's Blooming Awesome. But yeah, I mean, I just think that's how you get to new people, especially in Springfield. You have to kind of reach within. I'm not from Springfield, and sorry, but I think it's a little closed off here at times. And getting new people, they're like, who's that? Do we like them? Should I try it? So, I mean, I think so, I like to just go, it's like, hey, be my friend, drink. I mean, that's what you do. You just go and have fun, make mistakes. I make lots of them, but I don't care.
That's the only way to learn, right?
Yes.
So mistakes.
And again, they're not mistakes, they're just experiences that didn't work. And mistakes that fail here quite often will work there. That's the one thing I've learned is that in all my jobs, just because it failed once doesn't mean it's always going to fail. It's maybe they're not the right people in my life. I'm not in the right place. It's just I'm too far ahead of my time. Oh, I like that one. But I think that you just have to kind of realize you have to keep trying until you figure it out. Like, those of us that have had 2 years in the pandemic, I'm going to be honest, it's harder now. It's super hard now downtown. So I'm just trying to figure it out. And I don't sell online because if I did, guess what? I just sold a dress online for $600. But when you come in my store, people think my $20 dresses are too expensive. So, I mean, I don't advertise my products online because I want to sell Springfield a good dress for $20. And I'll save it online. If you want me to advertise it, you're going to have to spend $40 or $50. And if you really want me to go online, I'll sell all my clothes for the $150, $200 they're worth. But I want to have fun.
That's what it's all about, right? Having fun, getting the community together. So I heard you say that it's difficult right now downtown, but why did we choose downtown? And downtown to me seems like it's growing.
It is.
Have so much.
I love downtown. Downtown could be better than St. Charles, Galena. We have a beautiful city. We have our downtown still intact. We don't look like downtown Peoria. we're still intact and ready to go. And we have awesome tourist attractions. We just got to get our city to believe in us. And there are good things happening. Thank you, Kayla. Thank you, DSI. There's some really good things coming out that will help. Right now, it's harder for me because no one's coming downtown. I'm sorry. The employees aren't downtown. The last 2 years, come downtown, help the downtown businesses. I had 6 people today at my shop. I was in profit zone though. But the thing is that I also had something happen, so I've turned off my little happy pants for a little bit, and I'll take some credit for that. I got cancel culture. But you know what? I know who I am. I didn't do what they said, so sorry. But anyway, you know what? We have to still, and I mean, you get to learn your downtown. I love my homeless people. They're not bad. You love me, I love you too. But I think it's just learning your downtown and learning everything. We can be great, but we got to get more people to believe how great we can be.
So this is for both of you. What is the most valuable piece of advice that you would share to all the entrepreneurs here in this room that are either just getting started or debating getting started with whatever they're passionate about? What would you offer in terms of advice?
I always get this question, especially last market season. I had a ton of people ask me this of like, how did I get where I was? And I've definitely obviously grown a lot since last market season. I'm now opening my own store. But I always tell them, like, it takes money to make money. And I feel like a lot of people want to instantly make money, but you have to invest it all back into your business. Like, you're not going to make money the first year. You're not going to make money the second year. You're going to want to invest it back into your business, and you're going to see a profit later in the future. But as long as you're investing it, you're going to grow yourself bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's what I'm doing so that I'm able to have the best future ahead of me. So that's what my biggest piece of advice.
Have a mentor. Patience, have a mentor, ask questions. My mentors, I've got a shop in Peoria. We do stuff together. I've got a friend that sells internationally. She lives in St. Louis. So she's hooked me up with my Japanese that come to my shop regularly. I have a friend, and I talk to people all the time. When I'm in trouble, I talk to people, and I mean, patience, it takes a while, it's hard work, it's hard work, it's hard work, and fun.
When you are cultivating your small business, and in terms of like branding and marketing, can you express and explain to us how you guys individually market yourselves?
Marketing for me is I'm very extroverted, so I feel like I market myself pretty well just by going around and like meeting new people and expressing who I am myself. But I also, social media is a big part of my business. I don't sell much online, but I do have a pretty decent following on Instagram and Facebook. I wish, originally I just started with Facebook for probably the first 8 months of my business, and I really wish I would have started Instagram. I think I'd be a lot further along in my following if I would have. But it also doesn't matter the amount of followers you have. It's more of like the consistency in your followers. Are they actually like participating, and like, do you know who they are? Because you can have a bunch of random people following you, and that doesn't necessarily matter. But I feel like all my followers are like genuinely people that have met me through businesses or markets or anything along those lines. So marketing for me is like social media and just me going out and meeting new people.
Well, I started this business as Morning Glory Collectibles back in the 90s. Collectibles, bad word, time to change it. So when I started with my friend at Vintage Pop, I worked under the name Vintage Pop. That was over. When it was time to change to my storefront, me all by myself, I wanted to keep it simple, stupid. And to be honest, I'm in Springfield, I sell vintage. My first thing after thinking of all the other names is I went springfieldvintage.com, available. Okay, we're halfway there. Nobody else was on Facebook or Instagram as Springfield Vintage, so that's me. That's how I did it. And, you know, Facebook, Instagram, I've got a commercial on the radio right now. I'll try anything a couple times, you know. And yeah, so when I'm walking around downtown, oh, I love your dress. I'm like, Springfield Vintage. Because, hello.
Because why not, right?
And my JoJo jewelry, that literally came from, my middle name's Joe, and they called me JoJo growing up. That's where it came from. I'm not good at coming up with names. And Wildly Rooted, I didn't come up with that either. Another girl came up with that. So I'm not good with coming up with names. So
I didn't want to be trendy either.
Kelly, do you want to tell us a little bit more about Wildly Rooted since you're about to open the doors, hopefully in July? Do you want to just give us a little bit more details on that?
yeah, so currently, I haven't been down to the space in a bit, but it's currently being remodeled. That's kind of all I really know. We are going to be, it's Wildly Rooted Boutique is the actual LLC name, but we will hold a lot of, we'll have, it's me and two other girls that are opening it. Jess, which is One Naughty Maker, she also owns Green Haven in Jacksonville. And then Courtney, she's Cloth and Oak, she does a lot of online sales. But we are all opening it up. It's going to be a lot of like local artisans, but also like a boutique-ish side, so it's kind of like a catch-all. So there's going to be some women's clothes, some kids' clothes, a lot of home decor, kitchen, kitchen stuff, kind of a whole catch-all, kids, everything. So anything you're honestly looking for, you can probably find in there. So that's the plan. Probably kind of the aesthetic we're going for would lean more towards boho-y is what it's going for right now.
And I think from the pop-up standpoint, I mean, when you're going from being a pop-up, like, I find that when I travel and do shows, each show has its own personality. So like when I'm doing a rockabilly show down in one area, like when I'm in Nashville or when I was just in Davenport or in Dubuque. So it's a different show than when I went to Litchfield. So I really think that you need to learn who your market is, where your market is, what they're looking for. One of the things I find, like my antique friend says, why do you have so many salt and pepper shakers? They don't sell. Well, they don't sell at the antique malls, but guess what? Downtown, they're a great little gift that the kids buy for their grandmas and stuff like that. So you have to, again, learn who's coming into your store a lot of times, because we do have a wonderful tourist trade. We don't know these people. So, I mean, I have a whole section of vintage Springfield or something that they can take home a part with you. So you have to think about who's your customer, how often are they going to want to come back, things like that. And I think when you start your business, it seems like, oh, but you have to figure that out. And moving your shop around all the time, because, there's some people that come to my shop every week and expect there to be new stuff. And then there's people that come 3 times a year. Or even better, my customers that are my tourists that come once a year, but they're always coming.
Know your audience, right? Very good. So this is my last question for both of you. How do you set your goals? Quarterly, annually? Share.
I don't write my goals down. I think they come on a whim. Sometimes the goal of opening a store kind of came one day on a market when someone was like, where's your storefront? And then from that point on, I was like, you know what, I think I want to open a store. So kind of big long-term goals like that, I would say are definitely just kind of on a whim most of the time. Short-term goals, definitely, probably like monthly. I'm like, okay, I have this that I need to get done, but I don't write them down or anything like that. I just keep them in my brain, somehow organized.
I run my business by myself, so it's all fly by the seat of my pants. But I had a goal, I wanted to make it at least 6 years downtown, so I'm only a couple months away from that. I don't know if I'll keep going. I'm like I kind of said, I'll be 65 when my 6 years is done. How's my health? Do I still like it? Do people still like vintage? How am I doing? Am I having fun? So those are all the things I always ask myself, and I do that before every show, you know, because I don't know. We don't know it. The last 2 years have taught us anything. You've got to be ready to just change. But I think it's the same thing. I know what I want to accomplish, but I also don't want to tell anybody because it's mine.
It's part of the hustle to always adapt. Week by week, month by month, you just never know what each month is going to bring. We would like to open up the floor for questions. So if you have any questions for Linda or Callie, go ahead and you can ask that.
Hello.
Hey, Linda.
Okay, tell us who you are and what you do. I'm taking over, so sorry.
Hi, my name is Dwight Bolden II. I'm owner of the Organic Collection, fashion designers, Zodiac Customs.
And yes, we've worked together before.
Worked with her before. She's an amazing person. I still owe you a t-shirt. I haven't forgotten.
That's okay.
But I'm really inspired to be downtown in Springfield at one point, just being from Springfield. So my question is, what was the, I guess, toughest thing you had to deal with downtown for your first year? I know, tough question.
Well, you know, I think it's getting it out of people's head that downtown is hard. I mean, parking's hard, the homeless. I mean, it's the same conversation over and over and over again. I mean, and is it true? I mean, there's homeless all over Springfield. Parking is everywhere. I mean, they tell you that if you can't see the parking place in the building, people won't do it. But I mean, honestly, if you're at the mall, you probably are walking, 200 yards, but you won't walk around onto Monroe Street to go around the corner to come to my shop. So I think that it's perception. We have to keep breaking the perception of what downtown is to make it work. Because those of us that are downtown people, we get it. We know it. We see it. We know it can be done. But it's how do we get the rest of our town to take the opportunity to come and visit us?
What is an idea, it's okay I ask, what is an idea that you have that might bring more people downtown? Sorry, I've been thinking about it for a long time.
Oh, I think everybody in this room thinks about it all the time. Where's Kayla? Kayla, can I say any of the things I know? Okay, so things that I know are gonna happen. We know that we need to beautify downtown, okay? Like those of us that have storefronts, be prepared, girlfriend, they poop in your backyard. And you open your back door and you step in it. No joke. But so what I think we have to do, I'm like this. So I think what we have to do is just keep realizing, so is it four workers that are, okay, so we know that through the work of DSI, that there are going to be 4 public works employees dedicated to downtown cleanliness and painting and stuff like that. Because honestly, okay, I'll tell my story of yesterday. So yesterday, if you were walking down across from Galena's, there was a tree kind of almost hitting a car. Click, click. And then I go around the corner and right in front of Wet Bar, there's a branch, ching, on the ground. Click, click. I have him on speed dial. Dear Mayor, please forward this to Nate. Oh, and when I hugged you the other day during the fat ass, you said I hadn't bugged you for a while, so I'm bugging you Linda style. So an hour later, another branch fell off in front of Wet Bar and hit a person's car. So I sent that picture. It was all cleaned up by 2:30. So it's learning how to work downtown, but again, that's not really my job. But we've got 4 people that are supposed to be coming downtown to help us with some of that stuff. So I think beautifying downtown to make it more welcoming is going to help. You know, we've got Kayla and those guys working on more benches and more things. We're getting new garbage cans. It sounds stupid, but ours are old and beat up. Think about the flower planters. Half of them are full of weeds, but that person waters them every week, but there's no plants in them. So again, it's people, we have to just keep pushing and telling them to get it together.
Gotcha. Thank you for answering my questions.
Anybody else have any questions?
I do. Okay, so what do? Are you, are you thinking of opening up a storefront?
No, I work out of my garage. I'm in a boardroom.
Oh, cool.
I got a card for you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think we should all switch cards at the end of this anyway. But I mean, I think we all work out of our garages, because even when you have a store, you're going to work out of your garage, because there's never enough room. Ever.
So ever since I joined Momentum on Main Street, for all the business owners that are downtown, there's this incredible sense of family. So can you share a little bit about that? How for anybody who is thinking about coming downtown, how you immediately gain the support from other business owners that are already down here, giving you tips and tricks, and for somebody who is coming down here that's new to somebody who is down here, you know, can you share a little bit about that for anybody who is hesitant about coming downtown?
Well, I'm joining on Adams Street, and the Adams Street already has a name, and they call themselves the Adams Family. So I was already put into the Adams Family. I'm already part of it. But along with that, Downtown Springfield has a great group of people. Both of us are on the promotions committee for Downtown Springfield, so we work together on setting groups together, so all of Downtown Springfield works as one. And I feel like it is a family, and we all get to know each other. Of course, I don't get to meet each and every one of them, but I sure do try, and we'll continue to do so.
We really are a family. I mean, if you take advantage of your neighbor, I mean, I shared a post about Replay Lounge. It was shared 459 times. I shared a post about Beelzebub. It was shared 250 times. So you've got not only yourself working on your business, but there's other people. DSI has a page. They're going to help you. You're going to work with other people. Ooh, I'll take a picture of anybody and put it on my page, because that's what you're supposed to do. I mean, we've got wonderful activities downtown, and you need to show that. We need to show when there's a concert downtown. So, I mean, I'm one of those that on my Facebook and always trying to show everything downtown. Sometimes I don't even try to sell. Well, I never try to sell off my Facebook and Instagram. I just try to show what downtown is. Oh, and we are family, because, I mean, we've got people in trouble right now that, you know, Corrine, if you don't know Corrine from Corrine's Closet, she needs your hugs, guys. You know, her husband was hurt in a bad accident. She needs your hugs. So come talk to me afterwards if you want to know more. But she's in town right now. Just already got a hug today. But yeah, we're all in it together, and you know, you might have to kick your neighbor a little bit to make him like you. But you know what? They'll get to like you eventually.
They come around eventually, right?
They have to.
They have to. Well, Callie, Linda, thank you so much for being our speakers tonight. If everybody can give you guys a round of applause, we thank you for sharing. But I want everybody to take a look to your left and take a look to your right. There's so much talent in this room that get out your business cards, connect, network. We would love to see you guys stay. I know that Linda and Callie would love to have conversations with you. Guys, if you have any further questions, if you didn't want to stand up in front of everybody and ask, but we do thank you all for joining us this evening. Next month, June 8th, we'll be hosting another one, talking about the financial GPS. That's going to be at the Alamo, so it kind of helps. That workshop is about navigating the financial stresses, not really stresses, but you know, hurdles, a little bit of everything. But that would be a great one as well. So thank you again. Hope you guys enjoyed the beer and conversation. So that concludes the workshop tonight.
This evening, I hope people get inspired just by seeing the community come together, being open to have conversations about what's going on, tips and tricks about how to become better with whatever they have going on. So, yeah, at the end of the night, I hope people do leave inspired.
To realize it's work, it's hard, it's fun. I wouldn't want to do anything else. And you got to just follow your passion no matter what you're doing. Follow your passion.